Welcome back, my friends, to some more Tocker's Trials. I was asked specifically to try and do this build. Well, not this specific build, but to try to get to the point where I could create the gold 3-star 6-cost champions along with all the 5s. So there's really only one way I see to do it, and that is with conquerors. And you need it to go a very specific way. So I'm going to take you through that, kind of show you where it ends up, and show you where the game bugged out on me and wouldn't allow me to finish. You'll see when we get there. So very, very, very important is going to be pick up as many BF swords as possible, and of course as many conquerors as possible. So out of that first anvil, if you get a BF sword, go ahead and grab it. You don't need to take Draven or Darius anywhere beyond 2 stars. You're actually going to want to level up pretty fast because you need to get to 6 conquerors as quickly as possible. Get to level 4 in round 4 and hope that you can have your 4 conquerors. At least then you're going to start picking up 3 points per kill, and what happens after this is going to determine whether you stay in the match or just exit and start again so you can try again, because you're going to be wasting a lot of time if you don't do it that way. If this is your goal, if it's just to win, then, you know, try a different build. For the first set of augments, your goal is a Conqueror crest, but if you don't get that, take any emblem because you can reforge it. But if you can get one, that's going to help you a little bit quicker. You're also going to want to level up as quickly as possible, and that is because you need to get to 6 conquerors quickly. So your goal is, after this round, to either have 2 conqueror crests or at least be on an easy path to it. If you don't, exit the game, start again. It took me about 10 restarts to get one that was sufficient to do what I needed it to do, so don't feel bad about doing it. But once you get the pan, now we have a conqueror crest and we have a pan that can be turned into a spatula, so we're able to get to 6 conquerors. Not necessarily this round because we don't have 6 players on the board, but next round we will be able to do so. So here we can take our frying pan, we can reforge it, we already have the sword, so now this will get us to 6 conquerors. You really want to hit this in 1-7. If you can hit this in 1-7, you have a semblance of a chance. I decided to go with snipers here. You can really use anything you want. Just create some kind of synergy that will make sense in the game just to keep you alive through these next rounds, because conquerors aren't really all that strong on their own. They don't have something like powder that's going to just make them tear teams apart, so you're going to take it from the additional synergies you get. 80 is a key level when you get that war chest, because it'll give you a 4-cost, and sometimes it gives you the 4-cost conqueror, which is really key. Elise will work well because she is also a form swapper, which will help make Swain stronger in the front line. Your next key moment to look out for is when you cross 250, because you might get Mordekaiser out of it. It usually gives you a 5-cost. What 5-cost? Well, that's going to be random, so you're hoping for Mord. In this case, we got Rumble, so we're still holding at our 6 conquerors, but that's okay because we're still gaining a lot. We picked up a BF sword, so the key is going to be, can we get a spatula or frying pan? And the reason I say frying pan is okay is because one of the rewards out of conquerors is going to be a reforger a little later on. Now, I found this fight to be your make it or break it. Now, you're likely going to lose with conquerors unless you have a really strong secondary trait. Here we didn't get the 2-star Kog'Maw, so yeah, it was done. But there is a chance of getting a spatula or pan out of here. We got the pan, we have a BF sword, so this will give us the 3rd emblem that you need to get to the 9 conquerors, presuming you can find all of them, because you're going to need the 4 and 5 costs. If you got lucky and picked up Mordekaiser by the time you get to evolution, you're probably going to want to evolve Mord. If not, Ambressa. If not, likely Swain is going to be the next drop, unless you've picked up some 2-star 5-cost out of a war chest, which can happen. Then you might want to use that and then go ahead and put the Conqueror emblem on. Now, You're going to have a battle at this point with yourself in terms of when do you go to 9. You want to get to 9, but there's no point in getting there until you have all 9 conquerors. And at this point, we need the 4 cost. We need emblems. So we're going to go ahead and roll down and hope that we find them, because you need that 9, and you'll see why as this plays out. We've now got them, so we can go ahead, put them in, get damage items on them, and then it's now going to be a race to level 9. And it's likely going to be a nail biter. We had 1 life left here, and then luckily picked up the 2-star Rumble coming out of that fight, and we have enough gold if we sell off Jinx to go up to 9 and get to the 9 conquerors, and that is going to be key, because Rumble comes in, becomes the 9th conqueror, and now we can really start stacking war chests, because that's what you're going to need. At 9, you are going to earn 20 per kill, so you're going to be gaining a lot of war chests quickly. And once you get up to about the 1200 level, that's where it really starts to count, and you'll see when we get there. And at this point, I would just roll like your life depends on it, because it really does. Get your team as strong as possible. I wouldn't worry too much about interest or getting to level 10 here. Focus on making sure you don't die and collecting as many chests as possible. You're going to need to get pretty high. Here you'll pick up a tactician's crown when you cross 1,000, but you need to get pretty far to get what you need to make everything happen. And then basically here's the key moment. You need to get above 1,600. The sooner you do it, the sooner you can execute the strategy. If you don't get there prior to hitting Jinx, you're not going to be able to do this. We get an additional 2 tactician's crowns. But what we can then do is use the stack of reforgers we have now gotten to turn them into the other items that you need to create the triple crown, which is going to be the tactician's cape and the tactician's shield. So you put one at a time on, use a reforger. We got them stacked up in 5 now. We have the cape, then we just need the shield. We have 4 opportunities to do it, so we should be able to get it without much problem, unless it just keeps going back and forth. But in this case, we get lucky, get it right there, and now that's just gonna keep spitting out gold over and over and over. And let me go ahead and race this through all of the rolling as I called everyone in the place over to see what this did. I had kind of known about this. I didn't know they were adding 6 costs until somebody mentioned it in the comments of my last video, and then I looked it up and I was like, well, this is gonna be the only way to do it. So at this point, your goal, you're really not limited by money, so your goal is just keep picking things up, creating 3-star champs, and you can dump your conquerors now. They don't matter anymore. You can get rid of pretty much anything except for your 5 and 6 cost. Now, we're gonna run into a bug, and I don't know exactly what caused it, but we're gonna run out of champs when we shouldn't have run out of champs. At this point, we're going through, we've picked up a couple of 3-stars. We have Rumble up there. We're, I think, about to get Mordekaiser. Oh no, we already had Mordekaiser at this point, and we're just rolling through and picking them up as we go along. My goal was to have all 8 of the 5 costs and then the 3 6 costs all on the board together. But as I get through the final of my 5 costs, and I have gotten the gold 3-star Warwick and the gold 3-star Mel, there is then no final victor left in the entire match. And I'll condense about 30 minutes of hitting the D key into as fast as I can and still have it be visible, but victor, I just need one more, never ever pops up, and at some point I just had to give up and move on. I even sold the victors I had back just to see if that would fix the bug, but even after I sold them back, I could not get an additional victor. Now, I don't know if you can see, but they summoned a Twisted Fate onto the board, and I'll show you. That could not be moved. It was there, but it wasn't there. And what I finally decided to do was sell everything off, just get the 3-star Warwick and the 3-star Mel. But you will see after I dump everything, I cannot. That Twisted Fate, that's just there. There is nothing I can do with it. I've also sold off the Triple Crown at this point, and I wanted to just leave it with the 3-star 6 cost and then see who did the most damage, and you'll get an idea of kind of how bugged this is at the moment. And once you hit this, if you want to, you can just keep creating 3-star champs, and then that you can score really, really high. That's how you get up to the 1.5 or 2 million. I think it'll give you 90 minutes, but notice I'm trying to put items on the Twisted Fate. It's not there, but it's there. And I think that had something to do with why I could not get that final victor. So we're gonna just bring up the entire damage chart, and we'll see what happens once we hit fight and turn this Warwick loose on the other side. We also have Mel, but it doesn't matter because Warwick just kind of does everything and then starts swiping at things that just are not there. But according to this, he did all the damage. Twisted Fate was there, but he vanished. Mel wins, we win, we hit the 800,000, but if you want to try to do it, that's the way. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have an absolutely, absolutely awesome day.